appears that tariffs are the new trend this season. Ever since Trump announced his aggressive tariff policies, the markets have been experiencing turbulence. Just days after imposing sweeping new tariff, Trump also declared a 90-day pause on duties for over 70 nations, including India. Now, this pause provided a significant opportunity to strategize and negotiate a mutually beneficial deal with the United States. While India is closely monitoring the situation, the message from the Modi government is clear. It will not negotiate under pressure and will not rush into any agreements that do not serve the interests of the people. Listen in to the Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal.
हम बंदूक रख के कभी नेगोशिएट नहीं करते। समय की पाबंदियां अच्छी रहती है कि वो प्रोत्साहित करती हैं कि तेजी से बात हो, लेकिन जब तक देशहित और जनहित को हम सुरक्षित ना रख सके तब तक कभी भी जल्दबाजी करना अच्छा नहीं है। All our trade talks are going on, progressing well with the spirit of India first and to ensure our pathway to Viksit Bharat 2047 in the Amrit Kal.
Now, this message comes at a time when the US and China are locked in a tariff battle and both are refusing to budge. In fact, China had raised the tariffs on the United States goods to as much as 125% from 84%. And this move comes after Donald Trump had ramped up the tariff on Chinese goods to a staggering 145% and also removed Beijing from the 90-day pause list.
中国是一个负责任的国家，我们对美国的霸凌行径采取反制措施，既是为了维护自身的正当权益，也是为了维护国际规则和秩序，为了维护世界各国的共同利益，为了维护国际公平正义。面对美国的霸凌霸道，妥协退让没有出路。
Now, the United States President Donald Trump is optimistic about reaching a trade deal with China, and he also said that he got along with the Chinese president very well. Listen in to what he said. On one hand, high tariffs being imposed, but on the other hand, President Trump continued to say that he and Xi Jinping are good friends.
Honestly, I'm very comfortable now, but I've always gotten along well with President Xi. We had a good relationship, very good, and I think something positive is going to come out of that. Honestly, I'm very comfortable now, but I've always gotten along well with President Xi. We had a good relationship, very good, and I think something positive is going to come out of that.
Senior consulting editor Srinjoy Chaudhary is on the broadcast with us with the details of what can be expected. Srinjoy, although it's tough to imagine what could be next because it's been a roller coaster ride. First, the huge tariffs, then suddenly a U-turn. Now, discussions with Xi Jinping going on amid the high tariffs. President Trump also calling Xi Jinping a good friend.
He said that about Narendra Modi as well. He referred to Prime Minister Modi as his very good friend and then imposed 27% tariff. So President Trump is a little unpredictable, to say the least. And we don't know what to expect vis-a-vis China because the amount of tariff has gone up steadily from both sides. So it's at 145% and 125%. And in both cases, it's prohibitive and will hurt both countries. Now, the only thing that India can look at is if China is selling $450 billion worth of goods and they are being tariffed at 145%, then there are two things to look at. One, till there is a substitute for those Chinese goods, how much will the American consumers suffer? That's the first thing. And how much inflation will that lead to? In the slightly longer term, yes, other people can substitute their products, and that includes India. Now, can India benefit even if of that $450 billion, India can even get 5% of it? That's a substantial amount. So that is something that will have to be looked at very seriously by India. India has to think of what China sells to America, what will be the cost of those goods after the tariff of 145%, and then look at India's own goods and say what can we sell to America at a much cheaper price. So that's exactly what India has to do and probably will do. But we have to also wait to see how China reacts vis-a-vis this deal. The American president seems to be very keen on deals, and he has been since the art of the deal and even before that. So will there be a deal with China? That's also something that has to be kept in mind. And as you rightly said, the American president tends to be a little unpredictable.
Okay, all right, Srinjoy. In fact, we have more updates coming in, and this could be some relief for the United States. To shield the consumers from price shocks, the Trump administration has excluded smartphones, computers, and other electronics from the proposed reciprocal tariff, a decision that stands to significantly benefit tech giants like Apple, Samsung, and it appears to be a strategic move to calm business nerves and voter concerns over the inflation and supply chain turmoil. So, Srinjoy, how might China respond to the exemption, and what is the implication that it could have for the trade relations?
As you rightly said, this will benefit people. And the first people who will benefit from it is Apple, because 80% of Apple's products are made in China. So if you had a 145% tariff on an iPhone, that means it will be twice as expensive, almost. And if that was so, then the iPhone prices in America would double. Also, all Apple goods that are made in China. So this benefits Apple enormously. That's the first thing. And the second and most important thing is that any American buy an iPhone or needs an iPhone in the near future will actually heave a sigh of relief, saying, okay, my iPhone will not be double the cost. It will not be $300 when it should be $100 or was $150. So this is a relief for the American consumer. But overall, the American consumer must be a very troubled person, because he or she doesn't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So the chances are, if you are uncertain about the future, this is classic consumer behavior for hundreds of years. If you're not sure of the future, then you spend less. And if you spend less, especially in an American context, the economy is not likely to do well.
Okay, all right. Srinjoy, thank you for joining us with those details. China, of course, has called the United States a bully over these tariffs. It will be interesting to see what happens next. But for now,